What is up, Cyber Frog friends and family? Welcome back to this episode of Marketflow, powered by Thor, hosted by Mode. I missed being with you guys last week. I hope everybody had those of us that celebrated independence. I hope you had a good time. And what happened in the markets? Kind of what we said, a little bit of noise, maybe some down, but we had our zones. And as I said, I was going to go enjoy summer. And everybody, I come back, everyone's all fearful, and Bitcoin is still sitting at 58K, which is not too terrible to me. We lost the 60, yes, but we had this DCA zone here at 56 we talked about for a long time. We actually barely tapped it back here. And at this point, we look to be making a higher low, finding support on top of this zone. Now, we do expect a little, even if it's just temporary, resistance here at the short-term EMA and here at the RSI. But right now, we do have the higher low. So what are we looking at? What's our scenarios? If we do find support here and we can get above the EMAs, I would look for resistance on kind of this downtrend at least. Come back, test the EMAs, hopefully make that higher low, then reach up here toward this Thor short. This Thor short call, we would be making the break and the retest. Now, this is still making a higher low and could still lead to further bullish activity, even though that this is a short call right here at 62. But we have the TP, the take profit, at 59. This call to me looks like it would be testing the long-term EMA as resistance and looking to find support or fall through, but at least test the short-term EMA before making a big decision in the other direction. Now, if we do find resistance here and we do reach down to the lower low, I do see this 52 as a strong support still. Remember, testing this gap. We never really tested this whole gap. So coming back down here, it wouldn't be a big surprise to me. If we do, I think we would probably look to find resistance at the bottom of the zone, then hope to find the support here and look to work and start our leg up. So that would kind of be a little bit more of the bearish scenario, is if we do find the resistance here. Now, what is Thor saying? Right now, Thor has a call here that we just discussed at 62 with the take profit at 59. This could be a resistance and support, finding support here, like we said, the break and the retest being bullish, or this could be finding resistance up here on the long-term EMA and just resulting in further deeper bearish activity. If we get that deeper bearish activity, Thor does have zones identified. We've talked about them for some time now at the 43, the 32, and down here at 17. And once again, we've mentioned this before as well. All we have to do to invalidate those calls is break above the last local high here at 72. That's not even the all-time high. It's close to. But that was the local high before this downtrend. So if we begin our uptrend, if we can get that break, retest, begin this uptrend, if we can get into here, we invalidate those calls, the 43, 32, and the 17. So let's see where we go. But remember, guys, we said that anything kind of in this range coming down to fill this zone, retesting these zones, anything into this gap that we hadn't filled yet, an all-time high, this is pretty much noise. And we're going to look to DCA at our key points. Our key point where we got before was 62. Once we saw the 56, we're looking for that 56 again, and we got it. Are we going to get the 52? We're not sure yet, Let's see what happens when it comes to this downtrend. If we can break out above it, or do we respect it, find resistance, and reach down lower? Looking at Solana. Okay, talking about our zones. We talked about this zone down here, this gold box. When we were all the way up here at 170, we said, man, if we get 130, this area could be the best entry we get for the rest of the bull market. If we could come down, test this zone again, right? Because once we made the pump from $20, we went from 20 to 125. We never really came down and tested it. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 strong tests on it, right? And if we can get DCAs in this area on longer term support, if we can break out of here, that could be really bullish for us. Now, what is Thor saying? We still have these series of short calls stacked up. And remember, short calls are bullish because you have to pump in order to enter a short. So we need to pump from 140s up to 197. Come down, make the retest to 165. Pump up to the 220s. Retest on long-term support. Pump into new all-time high territories. And then look to retest support down here of what was that last local high, right? That last high in this run, really. So remember, these short calls are actually showing bullish activity. Now, if we see some bearish activity, if we lose the support here at the 125 and we break down, we've got a call that is significant. Here we have a zone. We've now got a Thor call directly in what we said was a DCA zone before. It's printed in it perfectly right here at the 88. And we've got two calls stacked on top of each other that essentially make one big Thor call, almost from 65 to 73 as an entry. So these are big entries. And look at this yellow line. This is our 60% down. We know 60% down is significant. And you see that's putting us right at these entries and right at these other DCA areas that we called a while ago as good DCA areas if we hit them. But right now we are finding the support. This was the DCA area that we are looking at right now. Bullish on it. We really just need to see what happens here. And ultimately, we are going to see some resistance, hopefully temporary, here near the 155, 160. We're doing a lot of pinball up and down from the middle of this zone. You see we got 20% up. We got 20% down. And we're pinballing in this range. Again, this is the noise, kind of like we talked about Bitcoin, that noise. Getting people to capitulate while others are also accumulating. So what we really need to see, what I really want to see for Solana, is I want to see Solana break 160 and find a strong support on 160. Get away from this range. Get up, get out of it, find support. Let's continue on and make the new highs. Once I really do think that once Bitcoin breaks out and gets to that, 82 plus, we've got true all-time highs again and a significant move. I think that's when we'll see Bitcoin dominance begin to break down, and that's when we're going to see the altcoins push past their all-time highs and really begin alt season. Taking a look at Popcat. Why? Because we see Popcat was the first to really break and send memes coming back into the cycle again. We see Popcat was the first to break and really come back again. It tested but could not get the all-time highs. But if you look long term, this is a good break and retest, even though this break was very significant. I mean, it pushed it all the way back up to testing all-time high. If Popcat pushes new all-time highs, look for the rotation of money out of PopCat into the other Cabal coins, and look for meme season to potentially come back and make its move. A lot of the memes are going to die, but a lot of strong conviction plays are going to continue to play out. Just how clunky Bird Eye has been shows us that adoption is still coming to Solana. So fundamentals in Solana haven't changed. My fundamentals on Bitcoin haven't changed. A lot of the shitcoin tokens it has. So just look at where you're bullish, look at what you're kind of not so sure on, and if you need to, rotate into higher conviction plays. Um, Looks like I've lost my markings here for Bonk. Oh, there we go. You see, this was our gap, our fair value gap from the last run. This is where we ultimately wanted to fill or find support on, was right here. And we did exactly that. Bonk has taken the retrace of 60%. 60% almost to the dot, and is looking to make higher lows, pushing up. Look for a little resistance here, but Bonk is also looking strong. Remember, guys, if you're not good at looking at charts, if this stuff confuses you, you can always use Thor. Thor gives you your entrance, it gives you your exit, and more so, it teaches you how to manage your risk. We looked at this long call at 92. We just talked about that a minute ago, having the long call down here right on what we call this DCA zone, this gold box. Now Thor has a long call in here. So how would you take that call even if you didn't know how to read charts? Very simple. You know where to exit between 87 and 92. You know where to take your profit at 116. How do you manage your risk? Risk management tool. This is the hidden power of Thor. If you want to manage your risk, which you always should be using proper risk management, let's say you're willing to lose, quote currency USD, amount you're willing to risk, $20 on this trade. Calculate. You now know how much you are going to buy. You're buying 0.93 SOL at 87.85. You're taking your profit at that 116 as we talked about. But now you know how to manage your risk. You know to set your stop loss at 66.45 to make sure you don't suffer a loss greater than $20. Thor helps put you on the right side of probability. Thor helps you manage your risk. Those two things combined is what turns you into a profitable trader. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Frogs fuck. Thor Prince. I'll see y'all on Thursday morning.